Sonny Walker, thanks so much for coming and being on ciSports. I appreciate you.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
How much of a role do you feel like your degrees and your education played a part in the opportunity of you climbing the ladder within the school district to become the athletic director and assistant or associate principal?
Assistant principal, so it's athletic director and assistant principal. It played an important role going back and getting my master's. I think it was back in 2019 or 2018, something like that. Just going through the process of getting my degree and my Type 75 for education leadership was like huge. Going through it during the pandemic, my kids were able to watch me go through school for 2 years and watch me grind, which in turn I think is really having a positive impact on them. But just going through all the classes, I was initially nervous before I got, when I got into the program. Because I hadn't been back in school for 10 years at the time, and so I just assumed that it was a younger group coming in, they were going to be smarter than me, and the 10 years experience I had teaching was extremely helpful to get through the program. Like I felt like the master's program was an easier grind than my bachelor program, if that makes sense. But it was a huge influence, and it really helped me out a lot just going through that.
What has been your favorite role? And can you name them? Because it's been PE teacher, a dean of 2 schools, assistant principal, assistant coach.
And then now athletic director. My favorite? Oh, man. Probably my PE teaching, and then probably being in athletics, because it just kind of coincides, and I just feel like I reach more kids that way, if that makes sense.
Yes.
The PE department is unlike any place I've ever worked. Those people are fantastic, and they help me become the person that I am today professionally, in a sense.
Okay.
And I still have all those relationship ties with that group. And then being like in PE, you see all kids. You don't just see 30 kids, here 30 kids, like you seeing the whole entire class. And so being able to reach each and every kid, and I still got kids that I see, if I'm out in public, they remember me from being, being their PE teacher. Like you just touch so many lives in that way. And then in athletics, same thing. You just, like I'm getting to a group of kids that I really don't encounter if I'm a actual AP, because quote unquote, you're an AP or a dean, like you really don't get to know a kid unless they're in your office all the time. And if they're in your office, it's probably not a good thing. But with athletics, like I get to go to soccer games, golf, tennis, all these different sports and realms that I really didn't get to watch before and touch these kids, like to touch their lives. So I would say athletics and probably PE.
So you have a passion for kids.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think in this profession, the education profession, like you got to have a passion for kids. Like if not, what are you doing it for?
And would you say that's why you are doing it?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
100%.
And
100%.
then what would come second to the kids?
Community.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like, and it kind of all coincides with each other. Like being able to be. I want to have a positive impact in the community. Like I want a legacy for myself, my family, and just say, hey, Sonny Walker actually did something for the community.
Yes.
And I mean, this is why I do the work that I do.
I'm gonna quote you. You said, you said in an article by the News Gazette, you said, "I am a proud product of Champaign, Garden Hills and Holiday Park to be exact, and I will continue to do the work to make Champaign proud." My question is, do you think it's possible to do your job well and to satisfy the community? Or do they conflict at some point?
Sometimes they're going to conflict, but I think at the end of the day, I think my job is to try to help kids navigate the school system and the athletic system and be successful. And I think at the end of the day, if I'm able to do that with kids, everything else will fall into place. Every decision that we make is not going to be everybody's not going to agree on it. Some of them they will agree on, some of them they won't. You can't make everybody happy. But at the end of the day, like if I'm having a positive impact on my students, then that's the only thing that matters to me.
What message do you find yourself communicating the most to the youth that you come across? That
it doesn't matter where you come from or what neighborhood you're from. Like you can create some positivity in your community, and that's why I said what I said about being from Garden Hills, being from Holiday Park. I'm a Garden Hills baby. I was born on Holly Hill. Like we aren't supposed to be where we are. You know what I'm saying? But with a strong mind and work ethic and people that care for you, like you can make it out.
Knowing what you know now, what do you feel like prepared you the most to operate in the athletic director role?
The last year, my role is being an associate.
Okay.
Because again, you don't know what it is to be an athletic director until you get in the role, and I'm still learning. But being able to be closely connected to athletics, starting to learn about scheduling, starting to learn about getting referees and transportation with the buses and all the issues that arrive with anything, whether a ref is late or the bus is late. Kids sick, coaches, whatever it may be, and then learning how to navigate that. I remember last year we had a basketball game and a fire alarm just went off right in the middle of the varsity game. Varsity game just started and nobody knew what to do. And just me being in, the assistant principal realm, okay, let me call the principal, let me call the fire trucks, let me call these people. And so, it wasn't a long wait before they figured out the issue. But like, if I'm not in that setting, I don't know what to do.
What was the process like to applying to the position and ultimately getting chosen?
It was a lot. Getting your application in, and then, I don't like to tell people all of my moves or my next steps because just being in this profession, you just can't. And everybody can't be trusted, which is not the greatest thing, but it is what it is. And so just trying to keep everything on the hush. Of course my family knew, but applying and then waiting to hear back for interviews and then getting the first interview. And the interview process, for me, it's a little different because I was familiar with everybody that was in the room, but you still have to sell yourself, and you can't think that they already know, right? Okay. So I still have to sell myself and what I bring to the table, and then what I can do if I was able to get the opportunity for the job. And then, then it's another waiting game to see if you're going to be part of the level 2 interviews, because there's 2 levels, and the second level is with, the cabinet of Unifor. And so luckily I had already been involved in that when I had got my first assistant principal job. And so I knew some of it going into it, but and then getting that call and then going in and interviewing, now you're selling yourself again to a different audience, and you really have to sell yourself, and it's hard for people to do that, and even hard for me to do that, because I just try to be as humble as possible. But if you want a job, you got to sell yourself.
Okay.
And so doing that, and then it's another waiting game to see if you go get the call, whether you got it or not. And I've been on both ends. And so when I got the call, I was just super excited.
Yes.
But then you have to keep it quiet until, until you get to the school board meetings and all that and get voted in. So, and then that's another process.
A lot of being patient, waiting, being quiet.
Yep.
You ended up going to the school board meeting where they voted. It was a 5-0 vote. During a time where it seems hard for certain boards to even agree on one thing. What did it mean to you to have 5 people give an easy yes and no nos? Yeah. What does that mean to you?
It meant a lot to me because it just, solidifies the work that I'm doing. And it's me knowing that people are watching and knowing that the work I put in, the grind that I'm doing to try to keep Centennial positive as possible. Like it meant the world for real, because I know some of the stuff that's going on. So for them to come together and vote me unanimously was great.
What do you feel like some of the challenges will be in this new position?
Just people, and maybe staff members used to things a certain way.
Okay.
And it may not be the direction that the athletic department is going. We want new ideas, we want systems, we want structure, we want communication with our coaches, with our staff, with our parents and our students. We want school spirit. We are going to push that out all year. Right now we got like 3 online stores in the works for Centennial, so we want people to get as much Centennial swag as possible. People say that's what they call it. That's what we're pushing for. And again, just people getting used to things a certain way, and if they will be on board to the direction we're going.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Sonny. You were great.
Thank you.
And good luck in this new role. I know you're going to do great, and I know the community is so proud of you.
I appreciate it.
Yes. I felt like Sonny Walker was such an excellent individual to interview for ciSports because he is a positive Black male role model in the Champaign-Urbana community, along with being someone who has elevated consistently while working in the Unit 4 school district. And if you know someone who would be an excellent sports-affiliated individual to feature on ciSports, nominate them by emailing kshelby@wcia.com.